Hi friends, my name is Christina. I am a practical witch and intuitive tarot reader here on YouTube. I make new videos every full moon, new moon, sometimes in between. Today we are doing a monthly prediction to find out what's coming up for you in the upcoming month of October. We're going to be looking at the good, the bad, the unexpected, any advice that you might need to hear, and I'm also going to be pulling a bonus oracle card just for funsies to see if we can tie it all up together. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around. But first, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things. We're still a brand new baby channel. It really helps me in the algorithm, and I respond to all of my commenters because you guys make my day. With all of that being said, we're gonna get right into the reading. I actually already have the meditation planned here. So I've pulled 3 different cards for you, the sun, the star, and the moon. And I want you guys to sit with yourself, check in with your intuition, and then as soon as you know which of these 3 cards is calling to you the most, then I want you to go into the description box down below, click on the timestamp that correlates with each of these piles, and then we will get right into your reading for the upcoming month of October. I do want to remind you guys, all tarot is timeless. Take what resonates with you and discard the rest. Never rob yourself of your own agency. You make the decisions, tarot does not, okay? Now, we've gotten all that out of the way. Let's just go ahead and get right into the reading, and I will see you guys in just a second. Bye. Hi, pile 1. If you guys chose the sun card, then this is going to be your reading for the upcoming month or the month of October, depending on when you find this. All tarot is timeless. But we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Actually, I'm lying. I do want to remind you guys that I am available for private readings on my Instagram if that's something that you feel called to do. But we are going to go ahead and get into it now. And because you chose the sun card, that obviously is going to have some bearing on your upcoming month, okay? So if those of you have been feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit bogged down, tired, exhausted, wondering when things are going to turn around for you, when there's going to be kind of that shift in the tide energetically, well, the upcoming month is going to be that for you, okay? For some of you, you're going to be getting this companion person, a support system. Someone's going to be showing up around you in your relationships or in your community that is going to be there to get you through this last little hurdle, this last little hump, okay, on this journey that you're on, okay? Now for this card, we have these 2 people traversing a mountainous landscape, okay? And that's where I'm kind of getting that that imagery is giving me that kind of messaging. And then I also just want to point out too that the sun card is one of the most positive cards in the tarot, okay? It is full of triumph, victory, good luck, success, joy, happiness. It's whimsical. Traditionally, it's a naked baby riding on a unicorn with the sun shining on their face like into a parade. It is just the silliest, most ridiculous card. And therefore, I'm assuming that this upcoming month for you is also going to be silly and full of fun and full of success and things that you're really going to be able to appreciate and celebrate. There's just good luck coming towards you in the upcoming month, all right? I really don't know how else to say it, right? But it's gonna feel like the sun is finally shining on you in the upcoming month, all right? I also, again, wanna throw out support, community, relationships, family. Some other person is coming in to give you some sort of help, so I want you to be really open to that. It might come in a very mysterious or unexpected ways, right? This could be like a teacher giving you an extra opportunity for extra credit. This could be a neighbor in your community saying, hey, I saw that you left your trash can out and I brought it in so that you wouldn't get a fine, right? Little things like that, that I think other people around you are gonna be supporting you in this month, and it's really just gonna give you a sense of like being held, being cared for, and feeling much more secure than you have previously. All right, pile 1. So that is what I am seeing just off the bat for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this card, I wanted to try to keep it in frame, but we've got such a tight frame today. I guess I'll move it over here, and we will go ahead and get started with your reading. Where do I want to go? We are going to go right here. Please show me the good, the bad, the unexpected, and any advice that we have for pile 1 for the upcoming month. Please, the good, the bad, the unexpected, any advice for pile 1. All right, oh, we've got the High Priestess coming out, the 3 of Wands, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Black Newman. Okay, all right, so this is a fairly complicated spread for you, pile 1, which is interesting because I was just saying how easy and blissful things are gonna be. But I think the reason that things are gonna work out for you is because we've got the High Priestess coming out in the good section, so that's really showing me that you've got a real awareness and intuitiveness around everything that's happening you for this upcoming month. So I don't know that you're necessarily getting anything pulled over on you. I don't think there's a lot of surprises coming towards you. I think you know where it is that you're going, what it is that you want to be focusing on, what your priorities are, and you're just really locked in. And that's the good news, right? The bad news is that there's some planning that is still needed in this coming month. Which really isn't that big of a deal because I do think you have this sense of like assuredness. So planning a little bit more isn't gonna be that much of a problem. There's also a little bit of a sense of waiting, right? So you're not fully through this cycle, through this period. And I know for those of you that, you know, were resonating in the beginning when I was talking about the sun card, are like, ugh, really? And I hear you and I validate you. I know you're exhausted. I know you're tired. You deserve to feel that way, but you just gotta hold on a little bit longer. There's a little bit more waiting that needs to be done here, a little bit more planning, a little bit more strategizing and putting the pieces together before you're really gonna get that payout, okay? But I do see an unexpected payout for you, specifically at work. Some of you guys have been working really hard and you're gonna get some recognition in your career or at school, you know, wherever it is that you've been putting a lot of your like pragmatic energy of just like putting your head down and trying to be the master of your skill and the master of your trade and just to gain mastery over some sort of skill or space or activity, right? I do see that working out for you in a really big way. Again, there's just a little bit of waiting here that has to happen, which I know is frustrating, I know it's annoying, but I do think that you've got a lot of foresight. I think you're seeing pretty clearly this month, so there's not a lot that's gonna take you off this path. It's really a matter of trying to stay positive, trying to stay engaged, and allowing yourself to really just stay open to the positive things that are coming, even though they might not be coming in the timing that you want them to be, okay? You know, it's one of those things where you just have to trust the universe, right? Everything happens in divine timing. And when we start to like hold on to things too much or want to manifest things too quickly or on a specific timeline, that's when it starts slipping away from us and we feel out of control, and it triggers some of those feelings, right, where we start to cycle and think, oh, you know, nothing's ever going to happen for me, it's not working out, when it really is. It really, really is. You just have to trust a little bit more in divine timing. And then for advice with the Black New Moon, let go of things that are just not meant to be in your life and in your space. I think you're at that end of that cycle, right? You're pushing towards the end where you're gonna get your happy ending and your reward. So there's a requiring of letting things go so that you can make space for that new stuff, for that new thing. A really good example of this, I feel like, is, you know, if you hang out with the same people all the time, but you really want to find, you know, a friend group or a community that's very supportive, well, you have to hang out with those people that aren't super supportive less, right? Those people that you've created routines with, that you've always kind of hung out with, or that are taking up your time and energy. You have to let go of those so that you can attract new, better, more supportive people into your life, right? And it just doesn't work without the letting go and that little bit of uncomfortability where you're like, wow, now I'm bored, now I'm lonely, now I don't have any plans. Good. That's supposed to happen. You're supposed to let go of those things so that you can get that change. And then guess what? You're gonna get creative and you're gonna sign up for new events and go out and meet new people and create new relationships and new friendships. And then bam, now you have that support group and that community that you've been looking for. But it took a little bit of that letting go, a little bit of that change and deconstruction, right, in order to get where it is that you wanted to go. And I think it's very poignant that we've got the Three of Wands, that planning, that waiting, showing up with the Black New Moon here. So there's a pause here, because I don't know that you necessarily need to be active in this last little cycle for yourself in this month, pile one. I think it's more about passively letting yourself kind of move through this last phase, letting go of the things that want to leave your life, creating space, and just kind of just really allowing this to kind of wash over you and to transition into this new period. Some of you have Scorpio in your chart, so you're going to be very comfortable and familiar with this kind of transition and this period of change, okay? And it's really going to help you level up. Again, I cannot emphasize that enough. There's an unexpected positive thing happening in your workspace or your skills, like you're mastering a skill, you're getting really good at something, you're getting some recognition, things are gonna be working out for you, okay? The upcoming month, I think, is definitely one, pile one, where you know where you're going, you understand the process, but you're still in the process, okay? And I think you're feeling it, but it's ultimately going to be for your overall benefit and betterment. So I don't want you to be scared. I don't want you to be discouraged. Try to stay positive. Try to nurture yourself as much as you can, because that's obviously going to be really helpful. And then again, just kind of let things go as they're meant to. You're in this transitionary period. Just trust that and allow that to happen in divine timing and as it's meant to. I'm gonna get a bonus card. Oh wow, okay. So those I'm not gonna take, but this one just flew out on my hand and I feel like that's the right one. So we got the Strength card as your bonus card, pile 1, which I think makes sense because it emphasizes that patience that we've been talking about. That's big Leo, big Virgo energy. This card for me particularly also has to do with that intuition and really trusting that third eye, one's inner core, one's inner values, those kind of primal instincts that really allow you to survive and thrive, okay? I want you to focus on that as much as you can, okay? Your bonus card really here is saying have strength, have patience, self-care, nurture yourself, be as compassionate and as understanding and as empathetic as you possibly can, especially with you, right? With other people as well, but with you, it starts with you. If you can't give yourself that love and compassion, it's gonna be very difficult to give other people that love and compassion. So it starts on the inside with you, with your person, pile 1, okay? And then again, just that patience, that resilience, knowing that it's gonna work out for you in divine timing, and really try to take care of yourself as much as possible. Some of you guys like gardening, some of you guys have a great hair care routine. Go with those things that you know work for you, that you rely on, that are your tried and true tools to push you through this last little leg, this last month, because I promise you guys, something really beautiful is absolutely coming your way, okay? The Sun card confirms it. It was the thing that you were drawn to the most, and so I just wanna really re-emphasize for you guys that there are good things headed in your direction. Maybe not as quickly as you would like them to be, but you know, that's just life, right? So try to keep your head up, try to stay positive. If you need a little bit of extra support, go watch some of my other videos, see if you can find some more hints and information about what's coming towards you. Definitely feel free to reach out for a private reading. And if you've got any questions, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to clarify. Leave me a little sun emoji or a lion emoji to let me know that you were here, claim the reading, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Take very good care of yourselves, pile 1. Bye. Hi, pile 2. If you guys chose the Star card, then this is gonna be your reading about the upcoming month or the month of October. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I lied, I did this for pile 1 too. I wanna remind you guys I'm available for private readings on Instagram. That information is in the description box, but now let's get into it, okay? Obviously, you guys choosing the Star card was gonna have a lot of importance, so we're gonna talk about that and then we're gonna get into the reading, okay? But first things first, the month of October, or the upcoming month, regardless of when you find this, tarot is timeless, is really gonna be a time of hopefulness, healing, and finding like a renewal, a sense of a new hope, a new dream that you can kind of attach yourself to. It might be a time of crying, of emotional release and letting go, but it's really going to be a positive thing because you are nurturing and restoring yourself into something softer, into something that just feels, again, a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more positive. The Star is a loftier goal than, say, the Sun, right? You've got to reach for it a little bit farther. The Sun is easy to find. You just step outside your door, and if you look the right direction, the sun will shine on your face. Now, stars, dreams, hopes, and wishes that we have that are kind of beyond our immediate environment, our tangible, touchable environment, that's something that you really have to work for, okay? So you guys are setting the foundation and the groundwork for really big goals to be achieved. This is it's a very lofty card, right? It's a very ambitious card, even though it's a very passive, relaxed kind of an energy. Some of you guys have Aquarius in your chart. I am an Aquarius Sun and Black Moon Lilith, so it's, you know, very likely that this reading is just as much for me as it is for you guys, so we're in it together. I also want to point out, I don't know why, but I'm getting this. Some of you guys are getting a tattoo in the upcoming month. If you are, leave me a comment down below. I'm a tattoo girly myself, and I would love to hear about your tattoos. It would give me, it'll let me like live vicariously through you since I'm not getting one this month. But I also feel like this is a time of beautification. You're really gonna be like nurturing yourself, working on yourself, a lot of self-care. I'm thinking like baths, using water as a restorative element to nurture yourself, to cleanse your body, to cleanse your energy. And just really healing yourself. There's a sense of, alchemic exchange with these two vessels, these two water basins, and kind of moving back and forth. It might be a little bit chaotic, but not in your external world, in your emotional world. You're really transitioning out of something big. There's an ending that's kind of being let go of, and then like a new beginning that's generating, that's kind of revving its engine up, that's gonna possibly be for like quite a while. Probably a big goal that you have for yourself. Maybe some of you are going back to school, maybe you guys are starting a new career, maybe you're saying like, I'm gonna find my person and I'm not going to settle for something less just because it feels good or convenient in the time. I'm really gonna like lock in on dating and date with intention and focus on finding the one, right? Some of you guys are finding long-term goals that are going to happen for a much longer duration than the upcoming month. These are big things that you're kind of planting yourself into the ground and saying, that's what I'm going to be working on in this next phase of my life. But again, big hopes, big dreams are being fulfilled here. I also feel like a lot of you guys are just wrapping yourselves up in love and protection and safety. There's a sense of like really nurturing your emotional well-being right now, finding yourself in a space socially where people are loving and caring and compassionate, really turning your back on people that don't make you feel held, that don't make you feel safe, that don't necessarily put you in a position of feeling like you're able to be your truest, quirkiest, most Aquarian self. You know, Aquarians are little intellectual weirdos, and we really like being that way, right? And so I think that a lot of you are finding places where you have permission to be your most authentic self and that you feel like you're really allowed to do that. So yeah, this upcoming month is a really positive time for you. It's going to be emotional, but I think it's also going to be passive. I don't think it's going to necessarily be super active for you. I think that you're allowing this to kind of wash over you and you're getting cleansed and moving into this new phase. So let's see what else we can get for you, pile 2, around the upcoming month. Clear and concise messages, please. The good, the bad, the unexpected, and any advice that pile 2 needs for the most successful outcome for the upcoming month. Clear and concise messages, please. All right, let's see what we've got, pile 2. Oh, okay, the Chariot, the Queen of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. Okay, let's see if I can get all these to fit here nice and cute. Okay, hopefully you can see all those. All right, so I actually want to skip to the advice here because the advice here is to get curious, to get intellectual, to learn more, to even like spy on some things, go lurking, do some reconnaissance work, learn more as much as you can this month. And that is going to benefit you in whatever this transitionary phase is, okay? But let's jump back over to the good. For the good, we've got the Chariot. This is willpower, determination, and success. So even though these two Sphinxes are opposites and they're pulling in different directions, they're still making progress and moving that Chariot forward. And that's what you're doing this month. You are still making progress and moving forward, pile 2, despite being pulled in many different directions, despite having a lot of obstacles or stressors or different responsibilities on your plate. You are still moving forward towards success. So the good news is that honestly, some of you guys are coming into some quick success, actually. Like, you could be getting a new car, you could be going on a trip and like traveling somewhere for work, or just like getting to go on vacation, something like that that's coming in very quickly. This could be a romantic relationship. The Chariot is also the love boat, right? So all of the good possible interpretations of this card are potentially in play for you in the upcoming month, pile 2. I think it's really interesting that you're pile 2. We've got these two beings here, and there's just that sense of like duality I'm getting with this. So I feel like duality is something that you're really relying on in the upcoming month, pile 2. That like you're having to be kind of the best versions of yourself and code switch back and forth as necessary so that you can find ways to overcome whatever these obstacles are. But you really are coming out on top in every given challenge, right? It's almost like you're on a game show and like you're that underdog that people are just like, oh my God, I hate pile 2. They win every challenge. They're so good at everything. They're so dynamic. They're so likable. They're like, we got to vote this guy off the island, but you can't because you're so, like, everyone just finds you so charming and they want you on their team because you're so good at everything. It's really interesting here because even though this month I know is going to be an emotional one, you're still coming out on top. You're still being successful. You're still succeeding. despite these challenges. And I want to point out the Chariot is the 7th card in the major arcana, and the 7s are about resiliency and inner defenses and that individual sense of boundary and resilience. And I think that those are your strengths this month, pile 2. You're incredibly resilient, you're adapting really well, and you're coming out coming out roses this month. Now for the bad, I've got the Queen of Swords. So I think there's someone here that might be a little bit judgmental, and they might be a little bit harsh with their words. You know, they might even be strategizing against you, but again, I do not think you have to worry about it with the Chariot card here. Like you're duck dodging, diving, and dodging, if you guys know that reference, all of their blows, right? Anytime that they swing that sword at you, you're able to kind of outmaneuver it. I think you're being very thoughtful around it. Just watch out for anyone, potentially an air sign, that is maybe cutting you or being a little bit too analytical, too intellectual, too serious, too detail oriented, that maybe they're nitpicking your work, or being really critical in their words and just, you know, like not very supportive. That could be an energy that you're kind of dealing with, and that's negative, right? That could be someone in your family that isn't necessarily always the kindest, or that isn't always super supportive. I'm thinking of someone that I work with right now that has a father-in-law that is, you know, just wants to be helpful, but is not necessarily very courteous with the way that they communicate, and it makes it sounds like they are not willing to help. So just kind of keep an eye on that for the upcoming month. That might be something to look out for. Also, if this applies to you, pile 2, this is that sense of like, have a good strategy, watch those defenses, right? We were talking about resiliency here. Don't be too defensive, stay open to people, especially if they're willing to help you. If they've dropped the ball, that doesn't reflect badly on you, that reflects poorly on them, right? Just because you're open and to accepting help and support doesn't mean that you weren't able to get it done on your own. It just means that you trusted someone and you were a good team player, and it's on them if they don't follow through with that action, okay? Now the unexpected, I've got... Sorry about that, pile 2. My SD card was full, so I had to switch it out. I'm not quite sure where we left off, but just making sure that you're open to the help of others, that you're staying resilient, but not too defensive, right? That if people want to show you support, that you're open to it and you accept it. And that also, I was talking about the unexpected. I think that you guys are coming out of the cold, right? I do think that there's somebody that might be willing to help and support you, that maybe they don't have the best way of communicating it, but they do have their interests in the right place, right? They do have their heart in the right place. I think some of you are coming out of debt, maybe able to pay off some things. Something is turning around for you in your finances, in your 3D. Maybe someone's reaching out to you and saying, hey, let's talk, let's communicate. You're coming out of the cold if you've been in a no contact situation with someone. I want to be a little bit nosy and pull a little bit more on that card. Don't tell the other piles because it wasn't something that I was planning on doing. And then with your advice, just to wrap that up really quickly, because I know we talked about it, stay curious, learn, do some exploring, do some lurking, especially if you've got someone here that's maybe being a little bit critical of you in your home space or your workspace, someone that's being a little bit unkind with their words. Maybe just ask yourself questions like, I wonder why this person cares so much. I wonder, you know, like what's influenced them to be this way. And just not to take things too personally. Stay curious, stay open-minded, okay? That's really gonna help you this month. Now, Spirit, show me what's going on with this 5 of Pentacles. What is that unexpected happening in the 5 of Pentacles for pile 2? Ace of Swords. All right, so yeah, new communication. I think someone might be reaching out to you that have you been in a no contact situation. 4 of Wands, some sort of relationship that you once were connected and committed to. And then Justice, yeah. Libra card, partnership, balance. There's some closure that needs to happen in some sort of a relationship. Some of you guys are having someone reach out to you, or there's some new information that's kind of coming into play that has to do with some sort of a connection, the way that 2 people define a relationship. And then this is like major arcana energy around justice, fairness, balance, beauty, partnership, Libra energy. You could be hearing from a Libra. But somebody wants to talk something out so that you guys can come to a sense of understanding around it, okay? Or there's some new information that's gonna make someone see that you maybe weren't in the wrong, that you maybe didn't do something bad, and then they're gonna come back around and be like, oh, I see that now, I get that, I see that I was a little bit unfair to you, can we maybe try to reconnect and decide where our relationship is gonna kind of go from there. All right, really interesting, pile 2. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what that is, because I'm very nosy. then I want to know about it. Also, yeah, I think this is going to be a big month for you. I think there's a lot of different things happening for you, pile 2, which is again why it's so important for you to stay open, to stay curious. Don't get too like bogged down on like the way that something's supposed to happen. If you have like an idea of the way something's supposed to play out, like don't get too obsessed with that. Don't get too focused in on that. Things might happen. You might get where you want to go, but you might not get there the way that you wanted to get there, right? You might have to take a couple of detours, take back roads, not necessarily go in the positions that you want to, or the way, and it's not gonna go the way that you want it to, but you'll still get what you want in the end. All right, for your bonus oracle card, we have the T here. Again, staying open, staying curious, okay? If people have information and insight to share, listen to that, be open to that. Gossiping isn't necessarily always a bad thing. Like gaining information, networking with people, creating trust and relationships where open communication is something that's allowed is really beneficial and can really help you because it can give you insight and information that you need. There's also a sense of like watering your own garden and nurturing yourself, right? Giving yourself nutrients that are gonna replenish you. So for a lot of you, self-care is a big deal this month. I know I say that all the time. If you guys are returning subscribers, you're probably so tired of hearing me say it, but it's true. And I'm an almost therapist, so it makes sense that I'm gonna yell at you guys about self-care all the time, right? But make sure that you're really giving back to yourself this month, that you're taking care of yourself, and that whatever this insight, this information, this gossip that you're yielding is really truly for your benefit. It's not something that is disrupting your nervous system, that's giving you that ugly pit in your stomach, that's making you, feel triggered. It's not that. It's stuff that's gonna help you in the future. It's gaining connections or information that you will be able to utilize moving forward. And remember, there's a lot of moving forward. There's a lot of overcoming challenges this month. So just keeping your mouth shut and your ears open, I think is gonna be really helpful. Keeping your eyes open for opportunities, and just kind of like looking for the best way to come out of the cold in general is really gonna benefit you. All right, pile 2. I do think that there's a lot of positive change that is turning up this month, okay? Because we've got the Star card here overall, and you know that there was a reason that you were really called to that. There's a sense of uplifting, all right? I think there's gonna be a huge sense of relief, especially since it's coming in, that 5 of Pentacles is coming out in that unexpected category here for you guys. I just feel like there's a sense of relief, a break in the tide, like you might have just felt like you've been just getting absolutely hammered on wave after wave after wave, and there's gonna be a break, and you're gonna be able to regain that sense of serenity, I think, this month, and there might even be some like crying because of this reconnection and release and relief, and yeah, there's just, I think what I'm trying to say, pile 2, is there's a happy ending here for you this coming month. And so if you've stuck around this far into the reading and you've made it this far, please leave me a comment down below and just say you claim your happy ending, because I really want that for you guys. Leave me a little teacup emoji or a star emoji to let me know that you were here. Thank you so much. If you have listened to this far into the reading, I just really appreciate you guys. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to read for y'all. Remember to reach out if you want to do a private reading. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for being here. Take very good care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you guys chose the Moon card, then this is going to be your reading for the upcoming month, or the month of October, whenever you find this reading. Tarot is timeless, so take it as it applies to you. Before we get started, I do want to remind you guys that I am available for private readings. I do them on Instagram. The information is in the description box down below, so check that out if you feel called to do so, but no pressure. I do want to chit chat a little bit about the Moon card here, because I do think it's very important that this is what you guys were the most drawn to in the reading, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the tarot, okay? But so the Moon card is, honestly, it's one of my favorites. I think it's so special. It scares some people when it comes out in the tarot, but I think it gets a bad rap. For me, this card has a lot to do with traversing that inner landscape, your emotional landscape, your inner world, the scarier parts of yourself that you maybe don't want to face, doing that shadow work that can be very difficult to do. And then some of you guys know I am in grad school for clinical mental health counseling, and so the dog on this card to me represents that therapeutic relationship, that counseling relationship where you have that loyalty, that support, that sincere empathy, and the tools to help somebody traverse that landscape, right? So for you guys, this is Cancerian energy, so you could have Cancer in your chart. It could be just a water sign in general. But for you guys, this upcoming month is really one about going deep, going inward, learning about yourself, unpacking things that need to be examined, looking at the narratives, the stories, the myths that you gained in childhood and growing up, and figuring out what it is that you want to keep with you as you move forward in life, and what it is that you want to let go of and unlearn. And I think some of you are getting into therapy, or you have someone in your life that has that positive influence, has that kind of wisdom and those tools to help guide you, to help support you. This could be a mentor, someone in your family, someone at work, right? But you guys are getting that support. And I want to remind you guys, most people have never been a mentor because they've never been asked. So if there's someone that you admire, that you feel like would be able to give you good support, advice, and insight, ask them. See if they're able to mentor you. Be brave, be bold. And it doesn't have to be for a long time thing. It could just be, hey, let's go, could we get some coffee? Could I buy you coffee? And just kind of pick your brain for an hour, and see if you know, there's some insight that I could get from you. I think I really admire you. I think that you're really interesting or hardworking or whatever person, you know, name the trait that you think that you could learn from them, and then ask them to support you in that way, okay? But I think that the upcoming month for you is one of checking out your foundations, going inward, looking deep, making sure that the structures you're building your life on are secure ones, okay? I don't think this is a scary time. I don't think this is particularly tumultuous, but I do think it's one where you're doing a lot of deep inner work, and that makes sense. If you're watching this at the time of filming and as it just comes out, we're hitting that eclipse phase, so this really reads. I'm not gonna be surprised if most of you guys are pile 3s, especially since pile 1 and pile 2 had such specific readings. This would not strike me as odd if this was a more generalized reading for the collective, because that's kind of what we're all going through right now, right? Is checking that foundation. The eclipses specifically shake that up, and eclipses are obviously the moon, so it makes sense. Really has to do with timing, but they really shake up that foundational stuff that is not secure. If you built your house on sand, right, the eclipses are gonna send a tidal wave to wash that away. So not necessarily a scary time, but definitely potentially one of transition, and of deep inner learning, healing, and work, okay? I am going to go ahead and move on. Where do we wanna go? We're gonna go right here. This is the deck we're gonna use, all right? So clear and concise messages, please, for pile 3. The good, the bad, the unexpected, and any advice that they might need for their upcoming month. Let's see what we can find out for you guys, pile 3. Clear and concise messages, please, for pile 3. Okay, so the good news is 8 of Cups. We're walking away from things that are no longer serving us emotionally, and doesn't that just absolutely resonate with what we were talking about? Okay, we got the 8 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands. Both of those came out for pile 1's reading, so there might actually be some messages there for you. I have shuffled these decks quite a few times in between, so that just confirms meant to be, right? So anyways, though, let's go back to the good news here. So the good news is with this 8 of Cups, you are moving on. You're moving away from things that are just not working for you anymore. You are appreciating them for what they gave you, for the lessons you learned, for the skills, for the support. Those were relationships and systems that you needed at the time, but you kind of have outgrown them, and you're ready to move on and to move forward. Very indicative of that moon cycle and that transition, right? And of making sure that you're building on a secure foundation. So we're kind of walking away from things, but it's a good thing. It feels good. It feels like a release. It's an empowering thing. It's making you feel like you're standing in your agency. Some of you guys really resonate with like mermaid siren energy. And so this is going to kind of result in a glow up for you guys where, you know, as soon as you walk, it reminds me of that meme of like, you know, like girls will go through a breakup and they'll get a new job and a new haircut and a new 401k, and they'll plan a trip and they'll be back in school, and you know, they'll just have completely leveled up their life. And I feel like that's kind of you in this situation, that you're almost like walking away from this thing and you're like boomeranging or like slingshotting yourself into a newer, better version of yourself with like a huge siren-like glow up, okay? Now the bad news is I do think that you are gonna have to be working very hard this month. You know, you could be a little bit overwhelmed at work, getting a new project, more of a workload. It will end up being for your benefit because the Eight of Pentacles is a master of their skill and their trade. So this means that you're ultimately just gonna be getting better at your job and better at what you do, and it will help you in the long term and it will pay off, but it does mean that the upcoming month means that you're gonna be a little bit bogged down at work or feeling a little bit overwhelmed in your day-to-day routine. That could be, again, a good thing though, because it could mean, it could be connected to this glow up. It could mean that you're like adding going to the gym to your routine and you're like, wow, I gotta find time to fit that in now, right? I don't have as much TV watching time. Or you're incorporating new skills, new things, you're learning new stuff, and that's kind of creating a little bit of tension in your day-to-day space because you're trying to fit it all in. But again, not necessarily a bad thing, just something that you are getting challenged with this month. I should really say the challenges instead of the bad, but you know, that's just the therapist in me talking. All right, now the unexpected though, we've got the Three of Wands. So there's a little bit of waiting that is gonna happen here that is unexpected. So you might have been thinking, all right, I'm gonna get that payout, I'm gonna get a bonus, I'm gonna get some recognition. Something that you've been waiting on, that you've been anticipating is gonna be delayed, unfortunately. And I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, but it will ultimately work out for your benefit because we have the Nine of Pentacles here. So we're going from the Eight of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. So I think for a lot of you, there's something at work that you're gonna get bogged down with. It's not gonna work out quite the way that you want it to, but it will ultimately end up leading to a payout for you in the end because you do go to the Nine of Pentacles, which is that advice card. So just make sure that the work, it's really making sure to remember that the work that you put in now does ultimately pay off. Now, it may not necessarily pay off at this job per se. Maybe you end up leaving the job because you don't get the recognition that you deserve, but it's still a skill that you learned and you're gonna be able to go to another job where you get paid more because you have this new experience and this new skill set that you've added to your resume, right? It's something like that. So the advice here is to just remember that you are planting seeds to your overall gains, your overall rewards, okay? You're working hard, you're putting the time and the energy in, and that is going to pay out for you no matter what, okay? It's kind of that sense of like, if you do the work, the universe has to give it back to you. That's just how energy works, right? So as long as you're making sure to focus on planting those seeds now for the future benefit, and you're not necessarily focused on, okay, where's my payout right now? I need my reward right now. I need that instant gratification. Do not focus on instant gratification. That's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you, pile 3, for the upcoming month. You know that there's an unexpected delay here coming up for you, but it doesn't mean that you're not gonna get it. It just means that it's gonna come a little bit later than expected. I do think it's interesting that we've got 8s and 8s here, kind of mirroring the good and the bad. So there's a sense of like you're doing inner work on yourself, and that's going to be reflected in your outer world as well. And there's that kind of yin yang duality here, which is good because it means you're going to be supported. There's going to be benefits from all of this hard work that you're putting in. Again, just try not to get triggered by this waiting, especially since we've got, you know, like the moon as that signifier that you were drawn to. There might be a little bit of triggered emotions that come up in this upcoming month, which are great. Those are opportunities to look at that, to work on that, to challenge that, to do better the next time, to unlearn some of those behaviors, right? But ultimately, I think that there is going to be a payout, probably not this month, but the next month. It's kind of what I'm thinking because we go from the 8 to the 9. I just think that there's that delay where you're like, man, I should have gotten it sooner. I should have gotten it this month, or they should have recognized all this hard work and this effort and this energy this month. But don't worry, keep your head down, stay focused, continue to be patient and wait and strategize. I know some of you guys are shocked because that is just not the advice that I normally give, but because I'm seeing the 9 of Pentacles in the advice here, it makes me feel like there is a reason to wait. There's something to wait on. It's in the pipeline. It's almost there for you, okay? Let's go ahead and get an oracle card for some bonus advice because I feel like that's gonna help open up a little bit more of this ultimate payout for you guys, pile 3, because I do, and I know I shot myself in the foot because I felt like this was gonna be more of a general reading, so it's gonna be hard to get into those specifics, but y'all know I'm a nosy witch and I wanna know. All right, so we've got the burn bridge here. Do not burn any bridges this month. Now, if other people burn bridges with you, just kind of recognize that, laugh, roll over, move on. Don't worry about it. Don't try to take it too personally, but just try to really keep a sense of positivity and appreciation in your relationships. I think this has a lot to do with the Eight of Cups here for you, pile 3, because this card is really about moving on with gratitude, letting go of relationships while still saying, I appreciate you for what you taught me and what you gave me in that moment. Whenever I think of this card, I always think of an ex-boyfriend that I had that was just so lovely and treated me so well, and I really could have been better to him when I left the relationship. It was hard for me to do that, so I had my own reasons for acting that way. And it's not that I want to be back together with him, but every time I think of him, I just have so much love and appreciation in my heart for what he taught me and how well he treated me. And there was so much that I gained and learned from that relationship that I really appreciate. And I feel like that's something that you should sort of take into when you're moving on from these things and when you're transitioning. Make sure to focus on that. Really try to say, hey, this is what I appreciated, this is what I got, and I'm so sorry that we can't move forward in the relationship, but I am gonna take you with me everywhere I go because I got so much out of the time that we did spend together. You never know, you might circle back. These people might support you in your career or in your goals, in your relationships, in your family endeavors in the future. You never know. So it's just really important to kind of keep those channels open and continue. Again, I just want to remind you guys too, don't go scorched earth, okay? Because that could be the other interpretation of this, is that if you get triggered because you're not getting that instant gratification and you're getting what you're looking for right away, you might have that urge to just burn it all down and just be like, it's not, I'm gonna quit, or I'm gonna, say, screw you guys, I'm not talking to you all, or I'm getting a new set of friends, or whatever it is. Just try to be patient, go slow, pace yourself. Try not to be too reactive, really stay grounded in that earth energy. There's a lot of earth energy here. So really try to focus in on that, which is good because some of you, again, are leaning into this water energy, this moon energy. So the right way to balance that is to focus on the earth and the grounding, okay? All right, so that's what I am seeing for you guys, pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. Leave me a little emoji down below. Give me a little fish emoji or a little fire emoji to let me know that you claim this reading. If you want to do a private reading with me, that information is in the description box. Thank you so much for being here. I just so appreciate you guys. It is always a privilege and a pleasure to read for you all. I would love to hear what I got right, what I got wrong. Anything else that you guys want me to do readings on, leave me a suggestion. I always make sure to prioritize them on my filming schedule. So I will fit that in as soon as I can. If you guys are still here, thank you. You're my favorites. You're the real ones. Leave me a crow emoji and I'll give you a special little comment. And otherwise I'm gonna shut up and leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.